Welcome. In this session, I'm going to discuss the last group of plant kingdom, angiosperms. And before I discuss about angiosperms, I would like to tell 2 points under gymnosperms which I missed while discussing it. Okay, so here let's see. Okay, in case of gymnosperms, the male cones and the female cones are born on same tree. So in some species we see the development of male cones and female cones on same tree. So like we see in case of pinus, and in some other species we may see the male cones and megasporophylls, male cones and megasporophylls are born on different trees, so that condition we can see in case of cycas. Okay, so that's about gymnosperms. So these are the 2 points which I would like to tell. Okay, now let's start discussing the last group of plant kingdom, angiosperms. Okay, so here this word, angiosperms, from the Greek angios, which means vessel, and sperma, which means seed. Okay, so they have vessels in the vascular tissues and they are seed producing plants. Okay, so here, so this group angiosperms is a large group of plants. Okay, so when compared with the other groups, that pteridophytes, gymnosperms, okay, so this constitutes an exceptionally large group of plants. Okay, and it's a large group of plants. Okay, and growing seen growing in a wide range of habitats. So we see them growing in different habitats, like in deserts, in waters, okay, on land. So we see these plants growing in a wide range of habitats. Okay, and coming to size, right? Coming to size, okay, they range from the smallest plant. So they range from the smallest plant, so that's called Ulfia. It's called Ulfia. So which will be of only, just you can put it on your index finger, at the end. So that much small will be this Ulfia plants. So it's a smallest Ulfia, to the tallest trees. Okay, so to the tallest trees, that will be like eucalyptus. Okay, eucalyptus. So this eucalyptus, grows over 100 meters. Means it can grow more than 100 meters. Okay, so they range from smallest plants, that is Ulfia. Okay, so this is the smallest plant, Ulfia, to the tallest trees like eucalyptus, which can grow over 100 meters. Next, from these plants we get a lot of food products, fodder. So that is, angiosperms provide okay food. So a lot many food items, so pulses, okay, we get from these angiosperms, then cereals, vegetables, and whatnot. Okay, so they provide us food and also like fodder. So this fodder is animal feed. Okay, so food for animals that we call fodder, and then fuel, we get fuel. Okay, then we also get medicines and many other commercial products, we get from angiospermic plants, right? And these angiospermic plants are classified, okay, into two main groups. Angiosperms are classified, okay, into two main groups, one called dicotyledons and monocotyledons. So they have, okay, two groups, dicotyledons and monocotyledons. Okay, so here we will see what actually these dicotyledons and monocotyledonous plants. Then here the dicotyledonous plants, which means they have two cotyledons. So they have two cotyledons, whereas monocotyledons, they have only one cotyledon in the embryonic stage. Okay, so they have only one cotyledon, and these dicotyledons, they have two cotyledons. Okay, so here actually cotyledon, which means an embryonic leaf. So cotyledon is a embryonic leaf. Okay, so based on that presence of one or two, so we have classified the angiosperms into dicotyledons and monocotyledons. So here out of all the plants, okay, even between these dicotyledons and monocotyledons, right, the monocotyledons are most advanced plants. So they are most advanced plants. Okay, now let's see a few characters of these dicotyledons and monocotyledons. Right, so first we'll see about these dicotyledons. Okay, so already I told you the dicotyledonous plants will have two cotyledons, and besides this having two cotyledons, so there are other characteristic features of these dicots. Okay, in short I can call them dicots. Okay, so they will have reticulate venation. They have reticulate venation. So this is arrangement of veins in a leaf lamina. So where when you see a leaf, you will find, okay, the veins and veinlets and all will be seen all interconnected. Okay, it forms a network. So this is how you will be seeing in case of reticulate venation, which is seen in case of dicot plants. Okay, so this is the reticulate venation. Is reticulate venation. Okay, so that's a characteristic feature of these dicot plants. Then we also see the presence of okay, tetramerous or pentamerous, okay, flowers. So they have tetramerous or pentamerous flowers. So that is having, okay, tetra, which means four, or penta means five. So having four or five members in each of the, okay, floral. whorls. Actually, all the parts of a flower will be present, okay, in, okay, so each part of that flower will be present in a whorl. So we can see there will be actually four whorls in a flower, right? So this is the outermost whorl, so outermost whorl, and this outermost whorl will consist of calyx. So they are also called sepals, okay, which will be green in color when you see the flower. Okay, so that will be which forms the outermost okay, right, layer. Then below that we will find another whorl, so that will consist of corolla, also called petals, right? And then below that we will find the androecium, so that will be the, okay, male reproductive organs. So male reproductive organs, and the innermost one will be the gynecium, so this is the female reproductive organ. So this is how the whorls are present in a flower, okay. And if each whorl have four or five, okay, members, so here the members of this corolla, which we call petals, if there are four petals or five petals, so in some flowers you may find, okay, tetramerous condition, and in some flowers you may find pentamerous condition, okay. So that is about the tetramerous and pentamerous flowers. Now coming to monocotyledons. So monocotyledons, in short we call monocots, okay. So uh, the monocotyledons, they will be, okay, having parallel venation, they will have parallel venation. Already we know the monocotyledons are the one who have only one cotyledon and they have parallel venation, okay. So the parallel venation, so you can see, okay, something like this. So you can see all the veins are parallelly, okay, arranged. So this is what we call parallel venation, is parallel venation, right? So we see in case of monocotyledons, the parallel venation in leaves. Of course, this is in case of leaves. Okay, so reticulate venation, okay, in the leaves of dicot plants, and parallel venation in the leaves of monocot plants. Okay, then coming to the flowers, they show trimerous flowers. So they have trimerous flowers. So each whorl will have three members. Okay, so that's, I'll mention three members in each whorl. So three members are present in each whorl of the flower, right? So that's a few differences which I have told between dicot plants and monocot plants. So both are they will be coming under the group angiosperms, okay. So now coming to the reproductive part. Okay, so let's see the reproduction in angiosperms. Okay, so here the male sex organs are stamens. So the male sex organs are stamens. So I hope okay, so if we see the flower, okay, so we see here, so these are okay, calyx. Okay, so then we find the petals which will be colored. So these are petals. Okay, so this is calyx and this is the corolla. Okay, so I'll just mention sepals and these are petals. So petals will be colored, scented. Okay, and then we'll find here the male sex organs. They are the stamens. So you can see here, so these are stamens. And lastly, at the center, we find the female sex organ. Okay, so that will be the pistil. So the female sex organ is pistil. Okay, so the male sex organs, stamens, and female sex organs are pistils. Okay, so here these are stamens and this is a pistil. Okay, right, and here the stamens have two parts. So when coming to stamens, so the stamens will have, okay, two parts. It will have a long filament and on the end it will have, okay, structure called anther. So it has anther and a filament, right, and it is in the anther, okay, the pollen grain development takes place. Okay, so that is the male gametophytes will develop inside this anther. So inside the anther, pollen grains develop. Okay, pollen grains develop. Already I told you the pollen grains will be the male gametophytes. Okay, and coming to the pistil. Okay, so here stamen. Okay, so coming to the pistil. So pistil will have, okay, three parts. Have three parts. So it has a base swollen portion, okay, which will be ovary. Okay, a long structure called style, and on the top a platform like structure that's called stigma. So it is on this stigma the pollen grains will come and, okay, stick onto it. Okay, so of course the stigma will be sticky and the pollen grains they come and settle on the stigma, right. So this is the male sex organ, the stamen parts, and this is the, okay, pistil, the female sex organ that will have three parts: ovary, style, and stigma. Now inside the ovary there will be ovules. So inside the ovary, so there will be ovules. Okay, so these are ovules, right. So just I'll mention here, inside the ovary, ovules are present. Ovules are present. Now inside the ovules, right, it will contain the embryo sac, which is regarded as the female gametophyte. So let's see how the ovule is. Okay, so here like how we have seen in case of gymnosperms where they are covered by integuments, here also the ovules are covered by integuments. Okay, later we will study these structures, okay, in our sessions detail. So I'm just giving briefly here. So you can see here it's covered by, okay, integuments, and it also have a tissue, what we call it nucellus inside it. Okay, so and here one of the cell of this nucellus will get differentiated and results in the formation of a mega spore mother cell. Okay, it forms megaspore mother cell. So this megaspore mother cell is diploid, and this one undergoes the process of meiosis and produces four megaspores. Okay, and we have seen in case of gymnosperms, out of these four megaspores, right, three will degenerate. So here also the same thing. Okay, three megaspores degenerate, and it remains with only one functional megaspore, and that one functional megaspore will develop into the embryo sac, okay. So that one functional megaspore develops into embryo sac. So it develops into embryo sac. Okay, so this embryo sac will have, okay, uh, different haploid cells. Okay, so you will see inside something like this. Okay, right. So this opening is a micropyle. So opening is micropyle. Okay, and surrounding this embryo sac you find nucellus. Okay, so this is the embryo sac here. So I will draw separately. So embryo sac is the female gametophyte, okay. And let's look at, okay, so this embryo sac, and okay, so inside you will find cells like this. Okay, so right, so here this is the egg cell, is the egg cell, and you will find here three antipodals. So these are three antipodal cells. So there are three antipodal cells, and here you find two nuclei separately. Okay, so we call these two as the polar nuclei. So we find two polar nuclei, and these two, okay, cells are called synergid cells, Okay, so this is how the embryo sac, okay, that is the female gametophyte in case of angiosperms, looks like. Right, so we can see here this female gametophyte and male gametophyte. Okay, so that is the pollen grains. So both are, okay, they develop and depend on sporophyte. Okay, so that is, of course, the embryo sac is present inside the ovule, and the ovule is present inside the ovary, and which is a part of pistil, and pistil is a part of flower, and the flower is born on the plant, so that plant is sporophyte. Okay, the same case with the male gametophyte. Okay, the pollen grains which develop in the anther and is a part of a stamen, and the stamen is a part of flower, and the flowers are born on the plant, which is a sporophyte. Okay, so in this case the gametophytes are dependent on sporophyte. Of course, we have seen it from, okay, pteridophytes. So from the pteridophytes onwards we started seeing, okay, the gametophytes depending on sporophytes. Okay, with this I will end today's session. In the next session we will discuss how the fertilization and development takes place in case of angiosperms.